Us dancers assume that we are all working on the same understanding or with the same understanding of what it means practically to be on the music. And this just simply isn't true. Hey dancers, it's Kirsten. Welcome back to Twin Talks Ballet. Today, since my technique tip videos have been some of the most popular on my channel recently, I thought I would share with you some tips on one of my favorite topics other than artistry, which is musicality. Specifically, I want to share with you two rarely discussed tips on how to improve your musicality as a dancer that I think you'll really benefit from and enjoy, especially if you are one of those dancers who has been so frustrated by feeling like you've been on the music and then your teacher tells you that you're not on the music, but they're not clearly articulating why that is and you're just frustrated. I think these tips will really help you out in those situations, and it will help you to maybe ask better questions if an instructor is unclear on the musicality that they desire in a combination. Additionally, I think these tips will increase your ability to practice better artistry and to understand your unique artistic voice by simply making you aware of what options you have for being on the music. Because, spoiler alert, we all think we know what it means to be on the music, and we tend to assume that everyone in the room has the same understanding of what that means, but that, my friends, is exactly where our problem lies. So if you're interested in getting some of that tension resolved and understanding how to improve your musicality, please do keep on watching. Additionally, if you enjoy this video, please do let me know by either sharing a comment or giving this video a thumbs up. If I get plenty of likes, then I will know that you guys are really enjoying these technique tips, musicality, artistry type videos that help you to practically be a technically better dancer, and I will be happy to make more of them. So just let me know. The first thing that I want to bring to your awareness before I move into the what to do kind of tips in this video is us dancers assume that we are all working on the same understanding or with the same understanding of what it means practically to be on the music. And this just simply isn't true. A lot of dancers and teachers are mistaken by thinking just because they're like counting in their head and some part of their body is like vaguely doing a movement that seems to match up with the beat and it kind of looks like what the teacher showed, that we're very clear on what musicality is supposed to mean in each combination. Not necessarily. And I think teachers need to do a better job of understanding these nuances and communicating them more clearly to students. But hey, if you're a dancer who's watching, if you're a student, know that with this information, this can empower you to ask better questions. So if one of your teachers is being unclear with how they want you to dance to the music in each combination, then you can use the awareness you've gained in this video to ask a more specific question to get a more specific answer that can be a wonderful learning moment for the whole class, including the teacher. So my first tip really is to know what area of your body will either arrive or initiate a movement on what count. So of course this presupposes that you are able to identify the counts within the music. I do have an older video about how to count music, I believe, so I'm going to review that myself and I'll probably link it below. Once you're able to count the music, what is very important to get clear on before you do a combination is knowing that this point, by the way, it goes a little bit beyond just having a movement that is accent in or accent out, which here's what accent in and out means. If you're unclear, it means that you're either arriving on the count in a closed position, like a fifth position, or you are extending your limbs out and arriving in that extended position on the count. So an accent out, échappé would go and 1 and 2. Accent in would go and 3 and 4. Okay, so a lot of us already have that understanding. But what I mean, which goes beyond this understanding of accent in and accent out, is being very clear and specific on Are you initiating a movement on the count, or are you arriving on the count? You could arrive in a fifth position, accent in, or arrive in a position, accent out, or you could initiate from fifth to that extension on a count, or initiate from the extension into the fifth position on the count and kind of just let your feet hit the ground when they will. Now, obviously, that latter approach is not a common approach to Asia Pace, but I wanted to use this example because I thought it would be an easy one to demonstrate what I mean by understanding the nuance of initiating and arriving and the importance of knowing the difference. So I think a good example of how we can put this into practice and how understanding this can make us more musical and artistic dancers can be found at the beginning of class, which is pliés, of course. Okay, please excuse the very loud bird outside. If we are getting the comment like, oh, you're early in your pliés, you're not on the music, you're rushing, and you're like, what, how can I be rushing? Maybe this lack of understanding is the problem. In a plié, we could either arrive in the demi-plié position, the fullness of that position, on count one, or we can initiate the beginning of the movement from this first position to the demi-plie on count one. So it would go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and that was the method of initiating on the count. Arriving on the count is very different. See, both of these can be considered being on the music. It just hasn't been clarified maybe by your teacher if you're getting comments how they want you to be on the music. So the arrival method is arriving in your demi-plie on 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. I did that kind of obnoxiously sharp because I always use the initiating method, so that's a little uncomfortable for me, but I actually see this a lot in the balancing technique or balancing method, balancing style, depending on what strong opinions you have about that. Coming back to this idea of not only are you initiating or arriving on the counts, for example, like in a rond de jambe en l'air, 1 and 2, and or are you doing and 1? And 2. And I think for such a smooth combination like pliés, rond de jambe, adagio, it is really beautiful to initiate the movement on the count and then use the rest of the count to have a sense of smooth follow through rather than sharp arrival. I think that arrival method in a smooth combination like that can sometimes look a little bit ambiguous. It can look kind of like you're not really matching up with the accents of the music. Hey dancers, I want to just briefly pause today's video to thank the generous sponsor, which is, as usual, balletok.com. I'm so grateful for their ongoing support. Of course, I partner with them on a monthly basis to tell you guys about Zerly tights, my favorite brand of tights, and I'm so grateful that they support this channel so that I can continue to share these messages with dancers all over the world. And the way that you can support today's generous sponsor is to order Zerly tights through the balletok.com website. Zerly tights are, as I've talked about many times, my absolute favorite brand of tights. Very truly, from the black tights in the Z1 model, the Z2 Perform model. You can get them, by the way, with a back seam or no back seam. There are 2 different colors of pink, if I'm not mistaken, and I just love the variety they offer. In addition to the Z3 Repair tights, Z3, yes. These are so cool because they actually have an added amount of compression so that your legs can really rest and recuperate through better blood flow to ease tension, recover faster between workouts while also wearing them with a cute little outfit, like a wintry outfit, you know? I don't know about you, but I like to wear skirts and dresses with black tights underneath and black boots, and these tights are both very cute and very productive and functional because it'll leave your legs feeling so much better and so much more refreshed when you go into the studio the next day. Balletok.com also has a tights recycling program where you can get a free shipping label, send away your old ugly tights that you're not going to wear anymore. They'll recycle them, which is so awesome and very, very cool, very unique as well. And then you get a sweet little discount code on your next order of new Zerly tights. Thank you again, Balletok.com, for sponsoring this video. The other point I want to bring to your awareness is knowing specifically what body part will be either arriving or initiating on the count, and with what quality? Oftentimes more amateur dancers kind of sense that when they're starting to experiment with artistry and having specific qualities to their movements, not just making good pictures, but injecting beautiful and intentional quality into the motion that they're creating, what they often do is they choose one quality for their whole body. So if it's energy, it's like, you know, you're doing a petit allegro and everything is just really sharp. It's very energetic. Versus I think what is an amazing approach, not only in petit allegro, but in all movements, but let's use the example of petit allegro, is to mix qualities in your body. So for example, your legs can be incredibly sharp and energetic in a petit allegro with a soft, easy quality in your upper body, as if nothing stressful or strenuous is happening. That is an example of mixing qualities. Now, for that point I was making on what body part arrives or initiates on what count, that is an incredible way to be a more musical dancer. I think rond de jambe à terre is actually a really great example of a movement that shows specifically an awareness of what precise body part is going to be initiating a movement on the count. You're using your foot and your toes pointing and pushing your toes into the écarté devant or écarté derrière line, and that is the part that is matched with a count and it initiates the rest of the movement. So we go and one and two and rather than and one and a two. So to summarize what we've talked about, dancers, we've talked about first how important it is to understand what your working definition is for each combination of what it means to be on the music by answering the question of what body part will be arriving or initiating the movement on what count. And the other main point that I made is identifying what body part, also what area of your body will be demonstrating the primary quality you want to be showing with your movements. And be aware that just because the main quality that you're demonstrating with one area of your body doesn't mean that there aren't additional qualities going on in the rest of your body in order to create that beautiful sense of contrast and complexity that balances out the whole experience that you're creating with your movement. So dancers, I hope that you found this video very, very helpful. Please leave me a comment. If you did, I'd love to hear your main takeaways and what you would like to start implementing from this video in your next ballet class. Other than that, again, please give this a like if you enjoyed it, and be sure to subscribe because I come out with new videos every week and I would love to have you join the Twin Talks Ballet community. So again, thanks for watching and I'll see you next week. Bye!